Hi, it's Pam from the Hooked on Sewing blog. Today I'm really excited to share the unboxing of this lovely Lilac sewing machine from Janome. Now I use a Janome Horizon Memory Craft 8200 QCP special edition sewing machine, and I'm all the time looking for beginner friendly sewing machines that I can try. And so I have some experience with some beginner friendly level sewing machines that I can recommend to you. So this is the newest line of made specifically for beginner sewists from Janome. They have a variety of fun colors available, including one called Cat Fancy. But this is their lovely lilac version. So let's open it up. Inside the box, on this flap, it says, "Stop. Do you have questions? Check out the YouTube page for information on threading, tips and tricks, or you can call Janome and it lists an 800 number. It says they'd be happy to help." So, I'm going to tilt this over. I noticed right off, there's the manual. See if I can get this out by myself. On this side of the box, there's also, looks like the foot pedal and the power cord. Stand it back up. This is where the foot pedal and the power cord were. Making sure this is right side up. It is. I'm going to lay it flat on its back. She is very lilac. Well, that's the extension table. And there's the sewing machine. It has a lift handle. And as you saw, it has the extension table. It just slides and snaps into place. This is also intended to be storage in here. She's got 15 built-in stitches, including a buttonhole. All right, let's get her set up and see how she works. The first thing I'm going to do is open up the manual packaging. This is Happy Sewing from Janome. What's next? Ready, set, sew. It has some troubleshooting tips, bobbin winding, your top thread, bobbin thread, and how to pick up the bobbin thread. It also talks about tension. If your machine needle is jammed or your machine won't turn on, shows you how to plug in the sewing machine. And it lists some top tips. So one of the things that we mentioned right off the bat was to always turn the hand wheel towards you. So this is the hand wheel, and if I want to raise or lower my needle, I should always do it while turning the hand wheel towards me. You don't want to turn it away from you. You want to always turn the hand wheel towards you. Okay, let's see what else came in our packaging. This is the limited 25-year warranty. I'll read more about that and tell you what that includes. And the instruction book. Be sure that you keep this handy because you will refer to it often, I'm sure. Of course, when you open it up on page 4, it lists all the essential parts of your sewing machine with this nice diagram and identifies all your sewing machine parts. It also has it in French and Spanish. Shows you how to use the extension table and what all accessories are included with the sewing machine. So it should have 3 bobbins, a seam ripper, a buttonholer foot, 3 extra sewing machine needles, 2 other feet, and a needle plate. So let's see if we have all of that. This is the little accessory pack. There are 3 Janome bobbins. There is a seam ripper. This is your buttonhole presser foot. I'll have to look up to see what this is. And your zipper foot. And a needle guide. And a package of sewing machine needles. I'm going to put all this back in. And open up our power supply. Some sewing machines have a separate port for your power and for your foot pedal. This one is all in this unit together. So here's the presser foot, and then here is the power cord. And this is going to go in here just like that. And then I'll take my plug-in. We should have power to our machine. Let's follow along in our instruction book. So like I said, right inside it lists all your essential parts. The next page talks about the extension table. This is our extension table. There's a handle. Let me unplug this for a minute. There's a handle on this side where you can just grab a hold and pull it out just like that. And like I said, this is extra storage space in here. We'll just stuff all that in there for now. And then you just slide it back into place and it will just kind of snap into place. On the top, I noticed there are 2 thread holder pins. So it's handy for when you have your machine threaded but you need to wind your bobbin. So you can put a different colored thread on here for easily winding your bobbin. Here's a thread guide. Come over there. Okay, we already talked about the accessory tape storage is inside there. We plugged in our machine. And there is a power switch on this side. There should be right here. Our machine should now be on. Your presser foot lifter. turn it this way, you can see. The presser foot lifter is kind of on the inside of the sewing machine here by your throat plate. You just raise that once to raise your presser foot, and you can raise it again to have a higher position. Lower it, raise. And if you need the extra room, you can press it again to raise it even further. You do have to hold the presser foot up for that higher position. Okay, changing the presser foot is pretty easy. We'll raise our presser foot, and then you, with the presser foot lever, and then you just push down on the presser foot and it snapped right out. It snapped right out of place. Now to put in a new presser foot or a different one, you line the presser foot bar up with the, you'll see there's a little bar right here. You line that up with the groove in the presser foot holder and lower the presser foot all the way. It'll just snap into place. And there we've changed out the presser foot. There's more that you can learn about this sewing machine, like how to change out the needle, how to change out the presser foot bar. But let's just take a look at the features of the sewing machine. This is your reverse lever. You do have to hold it down to sew in reverse, and then when you release it, you can start sewing forward again. So, like I said, this is our bobbin winder. And the bobbin winder stopper. You put your bobbin on here, push it over, pull this out. Your hand will out, it just snapped. And then step on your presser foot to wind your bobbin. Press it back in when you're done winding your bobbin. And then you have your 2 spool pins that I told you about already. And this is the thread guide here on the top. This is the thread guide for winding your bobbin. So you put your spool of thread and you feed the thread along this guide and feed it through your bobbin, which you place right here. So that's your bobbin thread guide. And then this is your thread guide for your sewing thread. And right next to it is the thread take-up lever. So when you turn the wheel, watch this lever. When I turn the wheel, you can see it move. It goes out of my side. It comes back up. And that's the thread take-up lever. Then we have your thread tension dial. It came set on 4. It has settings up to 9 and all the way down to 0. So I'll put it back on 4, the thread tension dial. And then we have the pattern selector dial. You just turn it to select your different patterns. You can see the needle move when I go and select one of the buttonholes. And then over here we have the stitch length dial. So how long of a stitch do you want? 2 millimeter, 3, 4. And if you go all the way over here, this is for stretch stitching, for stretch fabrics. Okay, and then I told you reverse lever. I think that's everything on the front and top of the machine. Of course, over here, I showed you the lifter for your presser foot. This, of course, is your presser foot. This is the little screw that holds your sewing machine needle in place. Your throat plate or your needle plate. I think Janome refers to this as a needle plate. What else have I not covered? Okay, let's go on and see what else. We talked about the accessories. I showed you how to plug it in, how to turn it on over here. And this is the presser foot to make the machine go. Of course, you're going to step on the presser foot. And your presser foot lifter, again, is located right here. There's a black knob. There's a black knob right here. My presser foot is all the way down. I just lift it to raise my foot. And if I need to raise it even higher, I just push up on the presser foot lever and hold it in place, and then lower it when I'm done. Okay, we'll get into some of these other instructions as we learn more about the machine. So the bobbin is located inside the machine here. You just fold, there's a little groove here on the side. You just put your finger there and pull it down. That will pull down the bobbin cover area. It's a front loading bobbin. There's instructions right on the inside of this cover that shows you exactly how to insert and remove the bobbin. It's located right here. So that's easy to access. Moving on in my manual, instructions on threading the machine, winding the bobbin and loading the bobbin, how to draw up your bobbin thread, how to do a test swatch of sewing so you can adjust your tension accordingly. And of course it'll go into teaching you about all the different stitch lengths. And oh, the plate that was included there was a darning plate, and that would slide over top of this plate. And then it goes on to teach you about basic sewing, using your seam guides, the different stitches, utility stitches, how to do the buttonholes, how to sew on a button, zipper application, how to use the zipper foot. And then there's different decorative stitching, smocking, applique, stretch stitching. And then on page 44 in the manual, it talks about taking care of your machine. So be sure to read that over. It tells you how to dismantle the shuttle race unit, which is your bobbin area, how to access that and clean it, and how to clean your feed dogs, which you'll want to do periodically. And then beyond that, there's some troubleshooting. What's your condition? The needle thread breaks. Well, here's some possible causes and what page to go to into the manual for a reference. So that's a quick overview of what was included with the Janome lovely Lilac sewing machine. I'll have more information on that soon. If you have questions about it, feel free to leave them in the comments. Come over and visit me on the Hooked on Sewing blog, and we'll learn all about this sewing machine together. Thank you.